Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're examining a really specific and quite evocative ritual.
That's right. It's known as the second procession and the Zuyoho.
And it culminates, fascinatingly, in the symbolic burial of a cross. We've got a detailed document outlining the order.
So our mission, really, for you listening, is to unpack the key actions here.
Exactly. What do these symbols mean within this tradition?
Well, the first thing that jumps out is just how meticulous it all is. Every single step seems loaded with significance.
Okay, so let's start with that second procession. The text says it kicks off after a hymn, and the celebrant carries a cross, specifically on their left shoulder.
Right. And they process with the clergy from the north side of the sanctuary over to the south.
A very deliberate movement through that sacred space.
Yeah, and that north to south journey, you could read it as a symbolic descent, couldn't you?
Like mirroring themes of death, maybe before resurrection.
Precisely. Themes right out of the Passion story itself.
Okay, so after that procession, we get the order of Zuyoho, which means elevation, literally.
Yes, and this part involves 4 distinct prayers.
Offered in sequence, facing east, then west, north, and finally south. It covers all directions.
That praying towards all 4 cardinal points is, well, it's powerful. It suggests the universal reach of the sacrifice.
It touches everywhere.
Exactly, like light spreading, touching every corner of the world. Very symbolic.
Then there's a change. After these prayers, the way the cross is carried shifts.
Ah, yes. The celebrant then holds it in their arms.
And the source is explicit. This symbolizes carrying Christ's body.
See that shift from the shoulder to the arms? It implies a greater intimacy, doesn't it?
More reverence, perhaps.
Like holding someone precious who has just passed. Then the cross goes onto the altar to start the actual rite of burial.
Right, the order of burial itself. While hymns are chanted, the celebrant does something specific.
They mix vinegar and myrrh.
In a basin, right there on the altar step.
Yeah.
And then they use this mixture.
To moisten the 4 corners of the cross.
That vinegar and myrrh, it immediately calls to mind the crucifixion account.
Absolutely, and the burial preparations from the Gospels. Very tangible links back to that narrative.
Then the cross is held over the basin and it's washed with rose water.
Symbolizing the washing of Christ's body by Joseph and Nicodemus. Another direct parallel.
Following the washing, it's embalmed with frankincense.
More sensory details.
Then covered with heer cotton. The text describes it as simple unbleached cotton, like for burial shrouds.
Right, and wrapped in fine linen.
And even more detail. A white burial napkin around the head, a girdle bound around the loins. It's a very thorough reenactment.
Each step, the washing, the anointing with incense, the careful wrapping, it just layers on more symbolic meaning.
Pulling you deeper into that experience of preparing a body for burial back then.
Exactly.
So then comes the actual burial. The cross, all prepared, is placed in a coffin.
And buried, symbolically, in a special place under the altar.
And this is significant. The source notes that from this point until the resurrection,
no holy corbono, no Eucharist can be celebrated on that specific altar.
it's a really stark symbol of absence, isn't it?
It really is. That pause in the central act of worship powerfully underlines the solemnity, the absence before the promised return.
Now, the orientation they specify for the cross in this symbolic tomb is incredibly precise.
Oh, this part is fascinating. Go on.
Head points south, feet north, face turned east.
Facing east towards the resurrection.
And it's placed right side down, pressing the symbolic wound of the spear.
Wow.
It even lies on its side. And the text links this to the prophet Ezekiel reclining for 390 days,
As a symbolic act, yeah.
making sure the back doesn't touch the floor. Then, 2 fans are placed on either side, like closing the tomb entrance,
A visual closure.
with a lit lamp placed in front. And the door is sealed with wax until Easter Sunday. The detail is just remarkable.
It is, and what's so interesting is how different biblical threads get woven together. That specific posture, for example.
It connects the burial to deeper ideas.
Yeah, ideas of sacrifice, atonement, Ezekiel's symbolic actions. It's all layered in there.
And finally, to conclude the whole thing, the faithful do something.
They partake in a very bitter drink.
A really potent reminder, it says, of Christ's passion and suffering. referencing Isaiah.
And they're careful not to spill any. It's a direct physical participation in the suffering being remembered.
A taste of that bitterness.
And the cross stays buried, of course, until the resurrection day.
So, looking back, we've got the processions, the directional prayers for universality,
The anointing, washing, wrapping, all mirroring the gospel accounts.
the careful placement in the tomb, the specific orientation, the sealing.
The cessation of the Eucharist.
Right, the aha moment for me is really seeing how every single step meticulously recreates and symbolizes aspects of the passion and burial. It creates such a profound connection.
It absolutely does, and it leaves us with the thought, perhaps for everyone listening, how do these physical actions, these objects, even tiny details like which way the cross faces convey such deep spiritual meaning in ritual?
Yeah, what other seemingly minor details in other traditions might carry similar weight?
It really shows how ritual itself can speak volumes, often beyond what words alone can express. Something to ponder.